Got just over 2 months left. Get on it. Treat this like your exams at Yale or wherever it was you went. McMaster, UBC, cram, and get it done. I gotta say, tonight's show will be fun because one of the most fun films of the past decade was Kill Bill, and one of the stars of that film tonight on the program, Vivica A. Fox will be there. You know what I'm talking about? You know, I think for a lot of people, when they talk about the decade that's gone, the 2000s, they talk a lot about politics because politics were front and center. There was a very controversial president in the United States of America. That tends to lead people towards activism. The 2000s have been good for political comedians. If you think about it, not just the 8 years of George Bush, multiple wars, global economic meltdown. Tonight, a guy who's political and he's funny, Bill Maher, is going to be here tonight. So it'll be nice to have both of them on the show. Now, the last time, Bill was on the show once before. Him and Larry Charles were on the show talking about their documentary called Religulous. Tonight, we're not going to talk about religion. We're going to talk about swine flu, vaccinations, Obama, and a whole lot more. It'll be great to have Bill Maher back. Here's his bio.
You know, George, if you want someone who speaks their mind, well, nobody does it quite like Bill Maher. Whether it's politics...
This is a fear election. Johnny Jihad will drive a car bomb into your house if you like the Democrat.
Or religion.
It's silly, outdated, superstitious, destructive.
Or corporate hypocrisy.
Americans will do anything to each other for money.
Bill's always got an opinion, and it's made him one of the most successful political satirists today. Bill's dad worked in radio news, so his family talked current events a lot. And Bill's idol? Johnny Carson. So you can see why Bill is who he is. You probably know his first show, Politically Incorrect. It ran for 9 seasons, and Bill pulled no punches.
We have been the cowards, lobbing cruise missiles from 2,000 miles away. That's cowardly.
That is a
Staying in the airplane
yes.
when it hits the building. Say what you want about it, not cowardly.
That comment ticked off a lot of people, including advertisers, and the show ended up being canceled. So Bill left network TV and went to cable to start up a new program, Real Time with Bill Maher.
Everyone today is saying Kerry killed Bush and Bush was off his game. What game did this guy ever have?
Bill comments on everything from Obama to animal rights to his libertarian views to his belief that gambling, prostitution, and marijuana all should be legalized. Hell, he'll even take on his own audience when he thinks they're crazy.
Hey, do we have some security in this building? Or do I have to come over and kick this guy down?
You can catch it all every week on HBO Canada.
Everybody, please welcome back Bill Maher. Nice to see you, man. Welcome back to the show.
Good to be back, George.
Nice. You just wrapped the 7th season of Real Time.
It's like a tour of my hair.
Really,
Isn't it? It's terrible to do that because it really just becomes, people are like, they don't, I could be saying anything. I'd be like, wow, look at his hair now.
Are there certain tour stops on that hair trip that you remember better than others?
You know, you didn't go far. If you went a little further back, it would have been really embarrassing. I was talking about this with Gary Shandling, was on our show the other night. He used to talk about his hair all the time, and we were like, what was in the water in the 80s that made everybody's hair like that? I had like a squirrel on my head. I mean, I had like, it wasn't a mullet. It was worse than a mullet. It was like this 2 big bushy things back here, and I don't know.
In the 7 seasons of this particular show, do you look back at some of the early tapes? Do you get time to reflect?
You know what? I probably should look at tapes. I mean, that probably is the professional thing to do. I just have a mental block about doing that. I am never able to watch my own show.
Are you able to reflect on your
So
life?
I don't know what I'm doing. Because I'm high when I'm doing it, of course. And then I don't watch it, so this is the first time I've seen it. It looked all right.
You've never actually done the show really high, though, have you?
I would never do the show high. That would be a disaster. Are you seriously? Marijuana is not meant for something like doing a TV talk show. Because you have to be aware of so many things. The clock and the guests, and we got to move to this and that and that. I mean, you really have to be focused and on your game. That's not what pot's for.
When Politically Incorrect ended, did you think that you were done for a while on television, or were you scrambling right away to get back on?
I was surprised. I mean, you showed that clip that got me fired. I was surprised, looking back, on how quickly it did go away, because it was so intense when it happened. You know, the White House was up my ass, and they were talking about it at the White House press conferences, and you know, it was in the paper every day for a week or so. And it just was really intense, but it went away very quickly. It really did. I mean, 6 months later, people were like, what was that thing you said that got, you know, weren't you in some sort of trouble? You know, it's like, yeah, when I thought they were going to lynch me. So, you know, it was, that's so typical of America. You know, we are panickers. Whether it's Janet Jackson's nipple falling out of her bra, or 9/11 itself, we go to DEFCON 5 immediately. You know, Don Imus said something, we got to fire him, and you know, and then 6 months later, people go, oh, you know what? It wasn't really that.
Do you think that people have learned from that? And you know, the hysteria of the last couple of years. I mean, some of the tension was founded. I mean, people felt nervous for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
But then as time goes on, you look back now at the last 8 years, and it kind of does seem like Narnia. Like, it does seem like, wow, do you remember way back when?
Yeah.
Do you think people have changed or mellowed a little?
Well, I think we're absolutely susceptible to it happening again. I don't think we're great at learning. I really don't. You know, we just had a giant Wall Street meltdown that took down the world economy. It seems like nothing has changed there. They didn't learn a thing. You know, I thought when that happened, naively I thought, I guess, that America would go, you know what, maybe we should get back to making something. Have an economy based on actually making some shit. But no, they went right back to pushing numbers around on a computer screen. They're not selling anything.
They just had record payouts for salaries, some big Wall Street firms.
Exactly. You know, too big to fail. How about too to save?
Yeah. But as you know, that's the funny thing about any view that's...
Say that on this.
Say whatever you want.
Am I out of line?
But...
They usually print the rules on the cup on the show, and I was looking and I didn't see them.
There are no rules for this particular show. You can say what you want. I think it's because people are afraid to have conversations and afraid to have debate. You're actually experiencing that right now with the panic about H1N1 out there, the virus formerly known as swine flu.
Apparently it's a panic about me.
Yeah, it is now. But you're talking about vaccinations, right? Because people are talking about vaccines.
Well, but you know what? I mean, people, it's so funny. I mean, I'm reading all this stuff on the internet lately about me and vaccines, and they're just making stuff up about me. What I said was, I don't want to get the flu shot. Yeah. And I don't. But they have extrapolated this into somehow, I had to go on my own show Friday night and deny that I don't believe in germ theory. No, I get it. I do believe in germs. I get it that germs are bad. Germs and viruses cause disease. What I've always said is that Western medicine takes into account too little that it's also the terrain. In other words, germs, yes, they can make you sick, but you have a better chance of withstanding that if you're in good shape. In other words, the terrain, the analogy would be mosquitoes in a swamp. Right. Mosquitoes breed easily if there's a swamp. So if your body's a swamp, the germs breed easily. But it doesn't mean I don't believe in mosquitoes. Sure. Yes, and the same thing. It doesn't mean I don't believe in vaccines. I understand that in some situations, vaccines are very important. You know, should we, you know, inoculate third world kids against malaria or whatever they can be? Of course. You know, it's a cost-benefit analysis. For that, it makes